Good day everyone, I am Artificer Joni and I hope you're as excited as I am for the next Darktide class. The reveal is tomorrow and I figured why not make a rambling speculation video. I made these doodles some time ago and I want to use them in this video. We will do a brief overview of what might come. And yes, I will spend more time on what I personally want and what I think is more likely. And this is my first video on YouTube, so any advice and such is welcome. First up is the Tech Priest, or the more junior Tech Adept. They're ordained members of the cult Mechanicus and they're responsible for the creation and upkeep of the Imperium's technology. They have massive potential as a playable class, especially when it comes to gameplay. The first idea that comes to mind is that they could use their mechadendrites to aid in combat, from as simple as extra speed while reloading to active combat abilities like ballistic mechadendrites that fire when the ability is triggered. A servo arm could be used in melee, and I also see the potential for utility mechadendrites giving passive bonuses to things like the hacking minigames. When it comes to weaponry, the half-cog shaped Omniscient Axe is a absolute must. It's a symbol of the office after all. And what else? Ah yes, for ranged weaponry, the Volkite guns would be the class exclusive ranged weapon. And on the subject of the Cult Mechanicus and the Adeptus Mechanicus, oh right, I have to go to yes, there we go. Let's change the photograph. Yes, the Skitari. The Skitari, from the singular being Skitarius, and I believe the word is derived from the Latin skitari, which means to seek to know. The Skitari are the militant arm of the Adeptus Mechanicus. All of them have been augmented in various ways, and the most common being the removal of the eyelids and the implanting of a protective mask, the removal of the biological legs replaced with the cybernetic augments there, and various other more subtle and obvious pardon me, various other augments. They can be directly puppeteered by Tech Priest, which could be an in-game explanation for, or in-universe explanation for their various abilities. Oh, and they have a lot of various weapons they could use. The most obvious being the galvanic rifles, the transuranic arquebus, the lightning-spewing arc rifles and pistols, and the radium guns, which, as the name suggests, are radioactive. For melee options, there are the taser gourds and arc mauls. Some might say that they might be a bit too close to a servitor, but hey, there are various options in the lore, or examples in the lore of them being fully conscious and such. Then next up is the Sister of Battle. The Sisters of Battle are religious fanatics, all female warrior, monastic orders, pardon me, some of which are warrior orders. They have a long and storied history as defenders of the Imperium. And when it comes to weaponry, they purge the alien with bolter and blade, fire and flame. So a lot of fire-based weaponry would be the obvious go-tos. Melter guns, flamers of various sorts, and naturally, chainswords. In fact, a lot of the Zelevt weaponry are based on options that the Sisters of Battle have in the tabletop games. Now, on to the next class. There we go. Gangers. Hive gangers. I'm personally not too fond of the idea. If they make it a free class, now that would be a very welcome option. But I'll admit I want tech priests more. But the Hive gangers could be used as a way to port in content from the Necromunda tabletop game. And there's been some speculation that the Ganger class could have special interaction with the stims in game and possibly have dual wielding. And let's go to the next class. Ratlings are, well, they're essentially space hobbits. They are master sharpshooters, amazing, really good at stealth, and they are some of the best chaps in the galaxy. One thing that goes against their inclusion is that I believe the developers have mentioned that they don't want to use several points of view. They already had to redesign the game to account for the Ogren being bigger, and then they'd have to redesign everything so that they could have the Ratling who is shorter. And, well, since we are on the subject of races that would be shorter, let's go to the Xenos. Well, the Leagues of kin of the Leagues of Wotan, or the Squats, are technically abhuman, but they're sometimes classed as Xenos in universe. But yes, the kin are the modern iteration of the concept of the Squats, space dwarves. They are galactic travelers who sometimes render entire planets into raw materials for the AI supercomputers they worship like gods. They could be used, or rather, the weaponry they have could be. They sometimes use Imperial weaponry, so that way the developers could save some development time. Let's see. Pardon me. This is my first time making a YouTube video, so I really should make this. There we go. The Eldar Corsair. Now Eldar are the space elves, who are sometimes enemies of the Imperium, sometimes allies, and the Eldar Corsairs are the more freewheeling individuals who live as pirates and mercenaries. They have a lot of weapon options they could have, from the ever standard shuriken rifles and catapults, shuriken pistols, Eldarish chainswords. Oh, and some speculate that the Ganger class could have some. Well, I'll return to the Hive Gang later. But yeah, there are a lot of weaponry the Eldar Corsair could use, because they're not only Craftwell Eldar. Sometimes they have members who are or used to be Drukhari, the Dark Eldar. So some weapon options might be ported in from there as well. And finally we have the Kroot. Let's switch the... There we go. The Kroot are a species of avian Xenos who hunt across their galaxy to incorporate the DNA of fallen foes into their genome. Kroot have on multiple occasions worked as mercenaries for various individuals in the Imperium, and their war spheres can travel across the galaxy. Now, when it comes to the various Xenos, I do believe that if we are to get a Xenos playable class, it will be Eldar, because the Eldar have already gotten some mentions in the Darktide's lore from one of the a couple of Mortis Trials memories, and at least one of the Vox intercepts mentions the Eldari working with Inquisitor Grendel. Well, oh yes, and the cold trade, or the faceless trade, that is when smugglers or criminals get their hands on Xenos weaponry, or Xenos artifacts, and sell them across the Imperium. So the Ganger class could in theory have access to Eldar weaponry, but it remains to be seen. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, please do tell, and I'm more than welcome any advice and commentary. Well, with that, have a good one everybody. Bye bye.